Revenge may be wicked, but it's perfectly natural.
I felt like I understood her.
It's really a very modern feminist character.
The time was right to explore Becky Sharp as a character.
I was so excited when I got the call from Mira that she wanted me to do this film with her.
I read Vanity Fair when I was 16 years old in an Irish Catholic boarding school in Simla in North India, where I went to school. Focus Features had developed Vanity Fair, unknown to me, for the last 10 years. And they offered it to me, not knowing that Vanity Fair had been a beloved novel of mine.
Jeanette Day brought the script of Vanity Fair to me. And I decided to buy it because I thought there was something relatively contemporary about Vanity Fair.
How do I look?
A good deal stronger. They will be disappointed.
I love characters in literature who are self-possessed, and I think especially female characters who are self-possessed. And there's something fascinating to me about Becky Sharp because she was constantly reinventing herself.
Becky Sharp is just this amazing woman who's figured out a way to negotiate her way through society. Though she has no social standing, she has no money, all she has is herself, basically, her body, her look, her intelligence.
She resonated because although it was easy, it was much harder then. I think probably it's just as hard today, and I always loved the idea of that.
She's kind and good.
I could be good on $5,000 a year.
She wanted a place in society, and she thought money was the way to get there.
I always wanted Becky to be sensual. I mean, she had to be. I was very happy when Reese was pregnant to do Becky because it gave me much more to work with, you know. And the womanliness and the luminosity was very important for me.
It's created a different look for me, which is good, which is much more period. I think women, you know, looked different then, so that's been nice.
The interesting thing about Becky is that she had the intelligence to go with her maneuvering, so she was always able to navigate these situations, you know, within her control.
2 men and 2 men only will enter my bedchamber. My husband and the doctor.
Action. Play back.
Mira's vision of this period was what really compelled me to come on board.
I had a pretty clear sort of distillation of what moved me and what made me cry and what made me want to watch you know, certain scenes that Thackeray had outlined. But I also was very interested in evoking the society of that time, in evoking the gutter, the working classes, the early 19th century London, which was smelly and filthy and you know, so that you understood where she belonged. And on her ascent to this high society, if she made one false move, she would be back to the gutter from where she came. But what was equally important for me was to maintain a kind of sense of great reality, to put the mud on the skirts, to feel the filth, to feel the rain on your sleeve.
Mira Nayir's office is quite extraordinary. The walls are painted the most amazing colors. She wears color all the time. She lives her life in this way with color, and she was very clearly instrumental in bringing that liveliness, that flair and style to the movie. She did this in consort with Beatrix Pastor, the costume designer. So quite often in the movie, where in a standard period piece you'd see people wearing charcoal gray or black breeches, Mira and Beatrix have put them into velvet pants. And it's extraordinary. That's the liveliness that Mira brings to it, and it's what gives the film, in large part, its visual sumptuousness.
That was the intention, really, is to feel very modern in its essence, but be faithful to the period, but take it someplace with palette, because Becky Sharp took it someplace. She was a trendsetter. She was somebody who was unique to herself. She made herself sexy with, you know, rope or fur or a piece of frayed fabric rather than a diamond.
I always think that it's interesting when you're making a movie about female character to have people behind the camera who understand what women are about.
We were a very female crew. We had 3 female producers, female director, female costume designer, female set designer, female line producer. The whole production team were women.
I'm an independent filmmaker who happens, not by politic or design, but who happens to work with women pretty much 90%, behind the camera for many, many years. That's the way I like to work, and that's the way it's turned out. I create a film family through the years. But in Hollywood, I suppose it is unusual.
I think every time a woman goes behind the lens of a camera, we find that their work transcends everything. Women are producers, they're directors, they're developing their own material. We need more of that.
I think that women producers understand when you're making a film for a female audience, what that audience wants.
There's a feminine and a masculine sensibility. So I think that men and women carry different balances of these characteristics, and therefore you bring different styles to your work.
Are you trying to steer me towards an indiscretion?
Why? Would you like me to?
No man has managed it yet.
What was interesting is that, Reese and Mira were all heads of household, mothers, wives, and here we are also in a very high level of responsibility. And I think when that happens, there's a efficiency in the way that you work.
Mira's a fantastic person for having children and, life around. So none of us felt guilty. In fact, we were encouraged to bring the children. I mean, she would let them sit in front of the monitor, and all of that, I think, was very good. So with Reese being pregnant, we all knew how she felt. Mind you, none of us had worked in 100-degree heat in a corset while pregnant, but, she did fantastically well. So we were all sort of like that with her all the time, which I hope helped her.
When you're in a situation where sometimes only women can understand, it's nice to be around a female director and a lot of female producers.
I guess Hollywood is waking up to the fact that it's completely possible to make an excellent film that is largely, propelled by women.
It's interesting to see the diversity of voices that are coming through.
Well, surely not going over there in your condition.
Of course I'm going. Why should the men have all the fun? And didn't Eleanor of Aquitaine ride into battle pregnant and bare-breasted?
Vanity Fair is not just a female movie. The story is what drives people to the movies. When you see someone take a journey that leads them to a new place, a new height, I think that's what everybody wants to see. I don't think it's just male or female.
Jack, I'm sorry. You cannot know the journey that I have made.
Oh, I should. I traveled with you.
The seed of power, and what power does, what folly is, what ambition is, what we all are vain about, those seeds are alive in all of us. It's not just Hollywood, it's life. And that's why Vanity Fair lives on, is because it's about the swirl of life.